What's up, guys? Jacob over here, coming to you with my reactions to Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. The Milwaukee Bucks won what I would call a grinder of a game, 108 to 100. The Bucks trailed for the majority of this game, and the majority of the game they weren't really playing too well, but as the Bucks usually do, they always find a way to win. And man, I gotta say, I feel out of breath right now because I'm just so, I was so into that game. Honestly, I think that was the most intense, fun, exciting, nerve-wracking game of Bucks basketball I've ever seen personally as a fan. That was just unbelievable. I mean, especially down the stretch, the big shot after big shot. Brook Lopez, 29 points. This dude won us the game, Brook Lopez. He was phenomenal. Even when he wasn't hitting his outside shots, he was getting inside, he was grabbing rebounds. He was just all over the court tonight, and he was exactly what the Bucks needed. Giannis had a bit of a subpar game, even though, of course, subpar to Giannis really is still pretty good. 24 points, had a double-double. He had 6 or 7 assists, I believe. But, I mean, wow. Like I said, maybe the most intense game of basketball, Bucks basketball anyways, that I've ever seen. Really, a lot of players on the Bucks didn't really have their best game. George Hill off the bench, 0 points, 0 for 6. Connaughton off the bench, 0 points. Ersan only 7 points. Giannis having a subpar game from his standards. Middleton was 4 of 12. Bledsoe was 3 of 12. Mirotic was 3 of 9. Outside of Lopez and I'd say Malcolm Brogdon off the bench, who had 15. He was a really, really big part of this game as well. There wasn't a whole lot of guys who really played that well for the Bucks, and yet they still found a way to win this game in the end, which is just so impressive. And, they haven't played a whole lot of close games really all season long, and so for them to win this game, and just especially in the fourth quarter, they came into the fourth quarter after Siakam hit a buzzer beater to end the third quarter. They came into the fourth quarter down 7 points. And they were able to just take over. They won that quarter 32-17. And you could tell the Raptors were really tired. A lot of their starters played 35 or more minutes, and they didn't have a whole lot of guys off the bench. I think they only had 3 guys come off the bench in this game. It was inevitable, you play the numbers, and, the Raptors came out of the game shooting the ball really, really well. The numbers just... It's hard to keep that level of production up, especially when you're playing your guys as long as the Raptors were. And there's just nobody off the bench really to come in and eat minutes for the Raptors. They have to play their starters a lot, so it makes sense that it kind of came full circle and they eventually started missing shots. They got tired, and the result was the Bucks owning the fourth quarter and winning the game 108-100. And Brook Lopez, especially, he had a lot of energy at the end of that game. He had a couple block shots. He had a couple threes. He was all over the court, everywhere the Bucks needed him. And that's exactly what the Bucks need. When the rest of their team isn't playing their best, they need guys like Brook Lopez to step up. And early on, Brook wasn't playing that well, but he really showed out. He was scoring in the paint when he couldn't hit threes. And, that was a huge part of his game back when he was on the Nets, and he was a guy who really was a post-up guy, and that's what he was kind of doing tonight. He was playing that because his shots weren't falling, so he was able to adapt his game, adjust, and he made some really nice plays. And at the end of the game, he got his shot to fall a few times, and the Bucks ended up winning because of it. And, you look at the contributions from the Raptors, Kyle Lowry, 30 points tonight. Kawhi Leonard, 31. Kyle Lowry having 30 points, that was unprecedented. I don't think anybody expected Kyle Lowry to have this good of a game, especially in the playoffs. Even then, you look at what the Raptors did with their starting 5. Danny Green, Marc Gasol didn't have great games. Siakam had a good game, but, you're not going to get that same level of production out of Kyle Lowry every single night. And at the same time, the Bucks aren't going to have so many guys play as bad as they did and miss as many threes as they did tonight. And the Bucks only shot 25% from 3. So, just to be able to win this game, at home, and with all the adversity hitting you in the face, I can't tell you how big of a victory it is for the Bucks to win this one. But anyways, those are my reactions to the game. I hope you guys had as much fun watching that game as I did, because I was biting my nails right down to the finish, and when Middleton got the final rebound, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe we won that game, because everything was going against the Bucks in this one, with the exception of Brook Lopez playing out of his mind, of course, and Malcolm Brogdon off the bench, of course. But like, just to win that game, it just felt so good. It felt like, man, we won that game now. We played bad in that game and we won it. And the Raptors played good in that game for the most part, and they lost it. That's a really awesome mentality to have in the playoffs. And now you're looking at Game 2 in Milwaukee with the Raptors likely gassed their starting five after. And this, keep in mind, this is like 2 days from now. On Friday, they're playing again. So, like, the Raptors, who had a bunch of guys play 35, 40 minutes, are going to have to turn around to do it again. And they're going to have, who's going to come off the bench and help them and eat some minutes? I don't know. And you have to think, the Bucks bench isn't going to be as bad as it was tonight on Friday, will it? So, I mean, it was almost the worst case scenario for the Bucks tonight, and they still won the game. So that just shows you how good of a team they are. So anyways, guys, so thanks for watching. That's all I really have to say in this video. But leave a comment in the comment section down below. How hyped were you after the Bucks won this game? Leave a comment in the comment section below. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at Obersports41512. And I'll see you guys next time. Go Bucks.